last class we were discussing about AO's star algorithm, that is and or search tree algorithm. So I had taken up one example and explained you how to develop the solution tree. And today I will discuss another example under this AO and or search trees, or and or AO. We also call it as AO star AO star algorithm, right? So I'll take up an example today, and if you want, you can take down along with me. This is the problem. The question is develop a solution tree. Okay, it is you need to develop the solution tree for this particular problem. Now, what are the steps? If you remember what I told in my last class, so you need to traverse the graph starting at the initial node and following the current best path and accumulate the set of nodes. Okay, that are on the path and have not, which are not on the path, which are on the path and have not yet been expanded. Okay, so pick one of these unexpected nodes and expand it. Compute f dash for each of them. Change this f dash estimate of the newly expanded node. Propagate this change backward through the graph. Decide the current best path. Okay, this is the procedure. Simply, if I give you the procedure in this way, it is difficult to do it. So I'll take up this example and tell you now. Okay, so here what you need to do is see the all this we are assuming it to be unit cost tree. Okay, so here everywhere the edges we have marked it as 1. Okay, 1 means unit cost edges, and all the heuristics values are given. And note that I forgot to mention. So the and arc is here, it is in this case. I'll just use some other color and mark it. So it's here, this is the arc, and here we have the arc, and arc is present here. Okay, now let us start from our initial node. Okay, this is our initial node. Let us start from our initial node. So here what we are trying to do is we are starting from initial node. We are moving towards all the nodes, the traversal we are doing, and we are finding the best possible path. Okay, we have to decide the best path that has to be determined. So first, based on our AO star logic, see here, since arc is present here, you have to add 3 plus 4 plus 1 plus 1. So it is for this one, 4 plus 3, 7, 8, 9. So I will write the heuristic value here, 9 for this one. Okay. Come to this side. So the immediate next, if the child here is with the heuristic value 5, 5 plus 1, 6. Now compare these two values, 9 and 6. So 6 is less. So what you need to do is you have to follow this path wherever the heuristic value is a smaller value. So when you follow this path and you are coming towards node D. Okay. So here, what we have to do is see the children of this node D. Just find out. You have to now do the propagation backwards. Okay, you have to calculate the new f dash. So here I have written f dash. Compute f dash is this heuristic value for each and every node by calculating the heuristic value of the child nodes. So here we have 4 plus 4, 8, 8, 9, 10. So this will, the new value of this will be 10. Okay. So if the new value of this is 10, then when you calculate it back, the new value of this root node will be 11. Okay. So the new value of root node will be, I will write in another color, the new value will be 11. I will just write like this. This is the new value. Now we have to, the aim is you have to calculate the best path. But here, initially when we got the values, f dash values 9 and 6, since 9 was large and 6 is a smaller value, we propagated, rather we followed this path and we have, we calculate the solution tree. But now we have calculated the f dash value and we have come back, right? We have propagated backwards and we have got this value 11. Now we have to find out, is there any possible way or is there any better path in this direction? Okay, because it was originally 9. Now here you don't see any that and or arc here, and so individually you have to calculate. So what is this 5 plus 1? So the new value of this will be 6. This is 7 plus 1. The new value of this is 8. There is no arc here, so you are not supposed to add it. So this is 6, this is 8. Okay, you always calculate the smaller value. You always calculate the smaller value, that is 6. Okay, so 8 can be it can be ignored. So this is 6, and so calculate the new f dash value for this root node. So here you have the arc. This will be 6 plus 4 plus 1 plus 1. So it will be 12. So the new value of this root node is 12. Okay. So if the question is to determine the solution tree, then what are the steps you have to follow? These are the steps. Okay, theoretically I have listed it here, but when you take up a problem, you have to just calculate the root node heuristic based on the your tree, based on the and or whatever it is mentioned. So propagate, move in one direction, calculate the new f dash value, come back to the root node, proceed in the other direction. Again, you calculate the, estimate the f dash value, come back to the root node. Now, this gives you an idea that which is the best path. Okay, which is the best path. So the best path in this case is whatever you have taken up in the first step. This is about the hand or search tree. I take up another example here, or you can do it by yourself. I'll give you. You can try this. Take up. You take down this. Okay, this is the problem which I have taken now. You just like the previous problem which I have done, you find out the solution tree for this one. Okay, calculate the f dash value for the root node. Okay, and tell me the values. Today class strength is very low. Why? It's only 19 students. I'll download the attendance list. It's always my class, the strength is around 40 plus, but today it is just 90, not even 50%. What is the reason? Not interested? No one is talking today. What is the reason? I don't understand.
Ma'am, probably people are traveling. They're coming back home.
Okay. Oh, I thought you people have already reached back.
Yes, ma'am. Some of us have, like, I missed class on Wednesday, so I came back on
Oh,
Wednesday, but like, people are still
okay,
traveling.
okay. That didn't strike. Okay, fine. I thought you people have already reached because yesterday was holiday, no? I was just thinking like that. Okay. And you will get the video recordings, right? You can,
Yes, ma'am.
go through. If you have any doubts, you can ask. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, let me solve this problem. As she said, if you have missed the class, you may find it's difficult to do it. I'll just tell you how to proceed here. So first step is you start from the root node. So you start from the initial node. Okay. So this is our initial node. Actually, here we don't specify any goal node. Okay. You have to just traverse all the nodes and find out the best solution tree, that best solution path. Okay. So for that reason, you have to develop the solution tree. Okay. So now, so let us calculate here. So this will be, there is an arc, okay, which means that there is an AND logic. So this is 6 plus 12, 18, 19, 20. So here I'll write the first, the value of this is 20, f dash. So whereas here it will be only this path, so it is 11. Okay. So of course, our tendency is to proceed in this direction because this is minimum compared to 20. So you will move from A to in this is the way you proceed. Okay. Now you are coming here. This one again there is an arc. You have to calculate f dash of this value, the heuristic value. So 4 plus 4 8, 8 plus 1 9, 9 plus 1 10. So even the new value of this is 10 only. Okay. So the new value even after calculating the new value is 10. Okay. So 10 plus 1 11. There is no change in this value. It is still the 11. But still we need to follow this path as well because we have to calculate is there any best possible path in the other direction. Okay. So what we need to do is here now we will calculate from this. This is given 1 plus 1. So this is now new value. I'll write in this red color 2. Okay. And here this is 1 and this is 1. This also 2. Okay. This is anyhow 7. So here, is there any arc here? No, there is no arc here. So this 7 plus 2, 9, 9. No, here what happens is I should not 2 plus because there is no arc here. So this here it is 3 and here it is 8. If there was an arc here, I would have added it, but there is no arc. So when you have two values corresponding to a particular node, you should consider the minimum value. Okay. So here 3 I have written, that is 2 plus 1. Here 7 plus 1, 8. So here 1 plus 1, 2. Okay, the new value is 2 here. So now here there is an arc. When arc here, you have to add this plus this. So out of these two values, the minimum you take 3, 3 plus 2, 5, 5 plus 1, 6, 6 plus 1, 7. So the new value of this is 7. So what is the best path now? Whatever we had started here and calculated, that may not give you the best solution. You have to traverse in this direction, because this value, after propagating it back, you have got the minimum value. So this is the solution tree, and this is how you have to start moving whenever you have such problem using AO star algorithm. Now, before I proceed to the next slide, some of you may have some doubts. You may be thinking, we have studied many algorithms. Okay, starting from say, what is that? Uninformed search. Under that, we have studied DFS, BFS. Under informed, we have studied many search algorithm. So, what may be the best approach? What may be the which one we have to select when you have a particular problem? Okay, whenever you have such doubts, because even I got this doubt. So whenever in one of the papers which I have read is like it depends on the problem type. Okay, it depends on the problem type. Some cases the path is important. Okay, the path is how you move is important. In some cases, the final answer is important. Okay, based on the type of problem, you have to select the best approach. Sometimes that may not give you best approach, so you may have to take up other algorithms and do and solve. Okay. Now let me go to the next topic. This topic is local search algorithms. Okay, it's very interesting. Local search algorithms. Let us discuss today. For the next 1 hour, I will discuss what is local search algorithm. Under that, what you are going to study. Okay. So, local search algorithms are, there are 3 types. Okay. See, these algorithms operate using a single current node and generally move only to neighbors of that node. Okay. So here, the path followed by the search are not retained. That is important. Okay. So, one second, I'll just write. So local search algorithm, they based on a single current node and generate or generally they move in the only to neighbors of that particular node. So here path followed by the search. Okay. This path followed by the search, it is not retained. Okay, it is not saved or anything. It is not saved. So now what we have seen is in the previous 2 classes under heuristic search, if you just recall, under heuristic search, if we just recall, we have been exploring search spaces systematically. It was systematic search. Okay, whichever the heuristic search we did, it was more of systematic search. Okay, so this systematic approach is achieved by keeping one or more paths in memory and by recording which alternatives have been explored at each point along the path. We have used queue, we have used priority queue. So we kept on saving the one path, we checked whether it is best or not. Then we moved in the other direction like that. Okay. And when the goal is found, the path to that goal is a solution to that problem. Okay. So now in many applications, path to the goal is not important. Okay. Same thing I'm this point I am explaining. So in many application, path to the goal, path to the goal is not important or is irrelevant, is not relevant. Okay. So in just an example, in that 8 puzzle problem, in this problem which you have discussed, what matters is the final configuration. So we know the goal. Okay. So what you need is what the final configuration. But how, what is the order or in which order you have got this, that is not important. Okay. That is not at all important. That is why in this local search algorithms, okay, in local search algorithms, so we don't follow the path whichever we have taken. We just give the final answer. Okay. I'll just give you some for your understanding. So normally in IC design, integrated circuit design, integrated circuit design. So we, even here we follow the approach, we follow this artificial intelligence techniques. Finally, what is important for us is the final IC which comes out, which we have designed. We are not bothered about the steps, the intermediate step. Final interest is the final outcome of our search. Okay, IC design. Then some factory floor layout, in some applications, factory floor layout design. Okay. Then there is another application called job shop scheduling. Okay. Then in telecommunication, network optimization, telecommunication network optimization. So here also final outcome is required. Then vehicle routing. Then in coming to the management side, portfolio management. So here, like that 8 puzzle problem, the final step, final our goal, that is what important. Okay, we would like to have the final goal with the minimum search space or with the minimum same time complexity. Okay, now what are the advantages of local search problem? So here under local search problems we have 3 methods, okay, which will be so one is hill climbing technique, the other one is simulated annealing, third one is genetic algorithm. Okay, these are the 3 techniques under local search algorithms. See here, hill climbing, actually this is based on the what we call inspired by the nature, this hill climbing technique. Simulated annealing, it is part of our metallurgy. And genetic algorithm, we call it as evolutionary biology. So all these are inspired by some real-time phenomena. Okay, so under this we will study hill climbing now. Okay, so now what are the advantages of this local search algorithm? I'll just list 1 or 2. Okay, first one is memory usage is small. Okay, they use a very little memory. Okay, second one is they can find a reasonable solution. They can find reasonable solutions In large state space, in large state space for which systematic algorithms are unsuitable. Okay, so I have already told you here we don't follow the systematic approach. Okay, in a local search algorithm, even though it is not systematic, it will give you reasonable solution in large state space where the systematic approaches like A star or best first fail there. Okay, so I can say that these are the advantages and these are the applications. Okay, wherever we require only the goal, not the step. Okay. Now, with this introduction, I'll go to the next slide, coming to the hill climbing algorithm. Okay. So, what is hill climbing algorithm? We'll see. It's a, as I said, it's a local search algorithm which continuously moves in the direction of increasing elevation or value to find the peak of the mountain or best solution to the problem. So this is our main interest. We want to have best solution to the problem. It terminates when it reaches a peak value. Okay, it terminates when it reaches a peak value where no neighbor has a higher value. Okay, so it stops when it reaches a peak value. So mountain, when you same hill climbing, if when you are doing, when you reach the top, you stop there. Same principle here. Okay, so here any used for optimizing the mathematical problem. Any problem you have, you can optimize this using hill climbing technique. So it is also called as a greedy local search. Okay, it is also called greedy local search. The greedy, it is just because that it will look for the immediate, I mean, good immediate neighbor. Okay, it will just look for good immediate neighbor state. Okay, now it is mostly used when good heuristic is available, and it will always give you good solution. It will always give you optimal solution when you have a good heuristic value. Okay, so if you have a good heuristic value, you can use this. And another important thing is hill climbing algorithm. It does not use backtracking. Okay, it does not use no backtracking. No. Okay, no backtracking here in this algorithm. This is another important thing. Okay. Now let me go to one simple example and tell you how we can make use of simple hill climbing technique here. Okay. Suppose I'll give you one simple example. I'm not taking any complex here. I just want to tell you the basic idea behind this. Suppose you have something like this. Okay. So here 3, 3, 5. Please note that here one thing I want to clarify. Uh, Actually, as I said, hill climb means it will immediate neighbor slight higher value. So like this, it will go in this way. Okay, hill. This is upward direction. But actually, if we mention in terms of heuristics, in we always prefer to have a lower value of heuristic. Okay, so here, lower value of heuristic, but normally in so far, all the trees or graphs which you have considered, this heuristic value, okay, we always selected a lower value. Now, all of a sudden in this hill climbing example, if I consider higher value, you will get a doubt. Why higher value? It is always lower value is the one which we require. So in that case, actually speaking, whenever you are giving heuristic value, it has to select the lower value. But to avoid confusion, what I assume here is whatever the values we are giving here, you can take it as 1 over the actual heuristic given. Okay, you can consider it to be 1 over heuristic value. This whatever I have mentioned here. Okay, say this you can consider 1 by 3. This is 1 by 5, 1 by 3 you can consider. Under such cases, what happens is our hill climbing algorithm will work properly because heuristic value will be the smaller value will be considered. Okay, so suppose after calculating, if you get something like this, so what hill climbing is, it will compare this 3, 5, 3. Out of this, the highest value only, because hill climbing, it will select this. Okay, suppose next we have one more, it will compare here. Okay, suppose if this is 4, this is 6. So again, the highest value only it will select. Then again, it will go like this. Okay, just hill climbing technique, it will take slightly higher value. Okay, now I'll go to the basic features of this and explain. Then you can definitely tell the problem associated with this hill climbing algorithm. Okay, now I'll just take a simple objective function versus state space diagram. Okay, see here, uh, uh, different regions of the state space I can explain. Now, please see that in this particular, suppose just to keep in your mind that you are doing hill climbing in this. This is the space or landscape. Okay, in this state space landscape, this is where you are doing hill climbing. So what happens here is, see, this one is the highest peak. Okay, this is called global maxima. These words are important. Okay, what is global maxima? It is the best possible state. It is the highest. Okay, it is the highest value of objective function is global maxima. Then you can see there is another peak here that is called local maxima. Okay, it is a state which is better than its neighbor states, but there is also another state which is higher than it. Okay, so I will tell you later the problems which will arise because of this local maxima. Okay, and current state is somewhere here, wherever you are at that particular point. And there is one called flat local maxima. See here in this particular hill, okay, it's a flat space. Okay, where all neighbor states of our current states have the same value. This is called flat local maximum. There is another point called a shoulder in this state space. It is a plateau region which has an uphill edge. Okay, okay, you don't have to worry about shoulder here because this is as good as flat local maxima only when we simulate it. Okay. Now, under types of hill climbing, I have just given you an idea in the previous example how it goes. It just takes the immediate, just compares whatever it compares with the its neighbors, whichever, I mean, when you expand the node, the child nodes, whichever has highest value, it goes to that particular state. Okay, so based on this technique, there are three types: simple hill climbing, steepest, this one, and stochastic. Three types are there. Okay, simple, steepest, stochastic. So what is simple hill climbing? Simple hill climbing is the simplest way to implement hill climbing algorithm. It only evaluates the neighbor node states at a time and selects the first one which optimizes current cost. Okay, suppose here if it is 3, if it is 5 here, so it goes to next, or 4, it goes to next state. Okay, it only checks its one successor state, and if it is better than the current state, it moves one step ahead. When you climb the hill, no, one step ahead. You don't see this. Suppose it is something like this. Our intention is just one step ahead. We have to go. Okay. So it is less time consuming and it is less optimal solution, and the solution is final optimal solution is not guaranteed. Okay. Then the second one is in this algorithm, variation of it is slightly better than the simple hill climbing algorithm. It examines all the neighboring nodes. Okay, it examines all the neighboring nodes of the current state and select one neighbor node which is closest to the goal node. This algorithm consumes more time as it searches for multiple neighbors. So when it searches for multiple neighbors, so the one node which is nearer to the goal node it takes, and the movement, I mean the step. Suppose if you have 3, 4, 5, and if a goal node is, say for example 6, so it selects this node. That is the second algorithm. It is slightly better than the simple hill climbing algorithm. Third one is stochastic hill climbing. It does not examine. It does not examine for all its neighbors. Okay, it does the random search. Okay, if algorithm selects one neighbor node at a random and decides whether to choose it as a current state or examine another state. So it is actually random search. Normally we don't use stochastic. We go for this one. Okay, steepest hill climbing algorithm. Now, after explaining this, okay, after I showed this objective function, let me tell you the problems associated with the hill climbing algorithm. Say we have a simple hill, something like this, okay, something like this. Now, what happens is the problem of local maxima. So it has reached here, okay, it has reached here. It does not know when you write a program, it doesn't know whether it is the highest or not. It is like as good as you are blindfolded and you are climbing the hill. This is something like this. Okay, you are climbing a hill with the blindfolded. You got it. So when you climb the hill with blindfolded, so when you come to know that you reached some peak, the next step when you put no, it is just you are going down, that you will feel, right? So the next step, till that you are going upward in an upward direction, you don't know whether it is peak or not because you're blindfolded. The next step is it is slightly you're putting down. So that time you will come to know that, oh, I have reached the peak. Okay, but you don't know that there is another peak. You don't know that there is another peak. Okay, so this is called stuck-it local maxima. Okay, so local maxima is a peak state in the landscape which is better than each of its neighboring states, but there is another state also present which is higher than the local max. So we call it as you are stuck at local maxima. Okay, this is the major problem of hill climbing algorithm. Okay, stuck to local maxima or local optima, whatever you call. Okay. Next, another problem is plateau. So here it is a flat area, as I have told. So you would have just come in this direction. Okay, this hill climbing you're done, but after you reached, all your next steps are same at same level. Okay, so it is something what we call it. You have reached a stable state. Okay, you are reached a stable state or you have reached a steady state. So this is another problem in hill climbing algorithm. Okay, because of this, it does not find any best direction to move. Okay, so you may get lost here in this plateau area. This is another problem of a hill climbing algorithm. Okay, third one. Yeah, then ridges. Okay, a ridge is a special form of the local maxima. It has an area which is higher than its surrounding area, but itself has a slope and cannot be reached in a single state. It is something like this. Say, if I just draw a 3D, okay, 3D something like this. So what happens is, so here. Okay, so this is how we are taking care of the hill climbing algorithm. After that, this is downwards. Okay, you're reaching, but there is another hill somewhere here. Okay, in this three-dimensional figure, if you do, so it does not change its direction. It does not no change in its direction. So it can't change its direction, but there is a another hill in the other direction. Okay, that is called a ridge. So this is another problem associated with the hill climbing algorithm. One is you may get stuck at local maxima. Second one is the plateau. Third one is ridges. Okay. Now I want to one associated with these problems with the drawbacks of this hill climbing algorithm. I'll take up one simple problem that is 8 puzzle problem and explain how it doesn't give a solution to us. 1, 2, 4, 5, 7, 3, 6, 8, 1, 4, 7, 2, 5, 8, 3, 6, 2, 4. Something like this I have given. I have taken some random example. Let me call this is the start state. Let me say this is the goal state. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The space is here. This is the start state. Now, what you do is you calculate, as I have told, based on the heuristic, you calculate the H value. So here H value is 1 is fine. Just compare with respect to goal. 2 is not there. 3 is not there. 3 is there. Then 2, then 4, then 5, then 7, then 8. So H value is 5 here. Okay. Now what you do, you move this space in all the direction. You write the next step. Okay. So when you write the next step, I'll just take 2 or 3 and write. You can do it by yourself. Okay. So here I'll write 1, 2, 4, 5, 7, 3, 6, 8. 1, 2, 4, 5, 7, 3, 6, 8. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 3, 8. Okay, like this you write. Now again you calculate the value, H value, heuristic value. So here if I calculate, it will come 1 is not there, 2 is not there, 5, 3 is okay, 4 is not there, 5 is okay, 6 is okay, 7 it's not there. Okay, so here I'll simply write H is 4. So H is 5. I'm just writing, okay. Okay. Now heuristic small value, it will, here I'm as I've told in my previous example, here heuristic value, reduced value is required. H reduced value is required. So it is 1, even though it is hill climbing, I'm just considering in the other way, just opposite direction, reduced value, it takes this path. Okay. Now what you do, you expand this again. Okay. All 4 cases you write. So when you write 4 cases here, the space when you move, so this is 1. Okay, what you get is, you get, say for example, 5, 5. So what happens is, this hill climbing algorithm will not give you a solution here. It stops. It stops. The reason is, whatever I explained in my previous slide, that is plateau. It is stable. It assumes that it is stable. Okay. So it does not find any best direction to move. Okay. So it gets lost in this plateau. That is clearly explained with these examples. When you get the same value of heuristic, it assumes that it is a constant value or something like local maxima, because there is no further movement and it stops. This is the major drawback of the hill climbing algorithm. So hill climbing algorithm will not give you a solution, because maybe it may get stuck at local maxima, or it may keep, because of the plateau, it will not give you the solution. Okay. And then what else I have to cover today? Okay. That's all about the simple hill climbing algorithm. So the algorithm, if I have to give you, it is just like this. Simple steps are, so first is evaluate the initial state, then loop until uh, the solution is found, or if there are no operation left, select and apply a new operator, evaluate the new state. Okay. Then next, third step is, if goal state is better than the current state, then it is the new current state. Okay. If the state, neighbor state which we are telling, if it is considered to be better than the current state, then it is a new current state. That's all in the simple hill climbing technique. Okay. Now let me go to the other few methods. I am not going to explain here the different algorithm, how you can use here. I'll just tell you what are these techniques. Okay, what are these simulated annealing, what are these beam search algorithm techniques normally we use for certain applications. Okay. So what is simulated annealing? Of all of you know that annealing is a heat treatment process. You might have studied in your basic physics. I don't know, maybe in your 11th or 12th standard. So simulated annealing is a heat treatment process to increase I think it is to reduce the hardness of a material, right? So it is also a process of hardening by applying high temperature and cooling it gradually. Okay. So based on this concept, in simulation or in software, what we do is we can solve a complex optimization problems. So how it is done? At every iteration, random move is chosen. Okay, so I'll just write here simulated annealing. Okay, simulated annealing. So I'll write here. So at every iteration, random move is chosen. 1 second, if I have anything. Okay. At every iteration, a random move is chosen. Okay. Second point is, if this random move improves the situation, then the move is accepted. Okay. If it improves the situation, then the move is accepted. Otherwise, it is accepted with the probability less than 1, which means probability less than means, which means it may choose some other direction for movement, and other path it has to be chosen. Okay, some other path has to be chosen. If it is not accepted, you set one probability value and some other path has to be chosen. So what happens is this probability decreases exponentially with the badness of the move. If your move is bad, this probability it keeps on reducing. Okay, exponentially it will change, and you will come to know that whatever the random path you have taken, it is wrong. Okay, so there is one temperature parameter also we set. So it decreases with respect to this temperature parameter. So now this simulated annealing starts with normally whenever we do the we write the algorithm, it starts with the when high value of temperature T value, when one high value we set. Okay, and it gradually reduced at high value of temperature. Simulated annealing is like pure random search. When T is very high, okay, T is very high, it is random search. This is the initial state, random search. Towards the end of the algorithm, what happens? The value of T becomes quite small. Okay, the value of T reduces. So this simulated annealing algorithm, it behaves like a simple hill climbing search. So same hill climbing search algorithm, we can use it when the T becomes quite small. So what are the steps associated with the simulating annealing? Initially, when you set the T value way high, you do the random search and you set, if it is fine, if it is accepted because you know the goal state, how the goal state has to be. If it is not accepted, you set the probability value and less than 1. So it keeps on reducing exponentially based on an exponential function. Then finally, you are following the simple hill climbing search when the value of T is quite small. So now I am just giving you one suggestion for all the most of the ENC students. So you can make use of this simulated annealing technique in VLSI layout problems. Okay, this is widely used in all the VLSI layout problems. Okay, uh, for this purpose. So you can just refer some good papers and you can understand how simulated annealing is used in VLSI problems, how it is efficiently used rather, okay, how efficiently used in VLSI problems, okay. Now, next is what I have to teach. One more technique I need to mention here. Again, I am not explaining all these things step by step because it is based on the algorithm which we have studied already. But only thing is there will be some small difference by some different variables we assign. Okay. So before I go to this search, one more technique which we have to uh, know is beam search algorithm. Okay, beam search algorithm. Okay, so here the main important feature of beam search algorithm is it takes care of space complexity. Rather, space complexity will be maintained constant. Okay, and another point is you will be given a beam width, we call it as beta, will be given. I can also say that this beam search algorithm, it is more or less, it is like you have studied, no, best search algorithm. So it is slightly a modified version of best search technique. Okay, it is slightly a modified version of best search technique. Okay, I will just tell you what is the use of this beta here. It is similar to best search technique. It is similar to best search technique, but sometimes you will be given beta is equal to 2, or some books they'll write n is equal to 2. Okay, so what is the meaning of this is, whenever you are using a priority queue, okay, whenever you are making use of a priority queue, you are asked to keep only best two nodes. That's all. Okay. So you are doing the sorting in the, and you are keeping the best two. Okay. If you remember the best search algorithm, what we do is when we expand the nodes, we get some, say for example, we get 3. Okay, we get 3. You know that the straight line distance also will be given. Based on the straight line distance, you will get three nodes. Yeah, out of these, see, this is the best, this one is the best, then this one, something like this. In the, you do the sorting and uh, analyze it. So here, in case of best search algorithm, you will, in the queue, you will place all these nodes. But here it is not so. It is just keeping only the best two. So because of this, what happens is you can save some memory. Okay. So space complexity reduces, or space complexity becomes constant. So compared to best search algorithm, this will give you a better or small reduced space complexity. Okay, so that is the advantage of beam search algorithm. You will be given a beam width. Just keep this in your mind. Okay, and another thing is, when this beta value is 1, again this beam search algorithm will become simple hill climbing algorithm. It will become simple hill climbing algorithm when b is equal to 1. Okay, that is the, that is why I am not explaining all these algorithm, because they are related. Okay, one another, like they are, there is a relation between these algorithms. Now next one which I want to tell is about one simple, you might have heard one more technique, that is, one second, just give me 1 minute. Yeah, there are, you might have heard some techniques we called online search agents. Okay, it is some online search agents. Okay, so here, mhm, uh, this online search agents, normally it will give you uh, mm, under unknown environment condition. Okay, unknown environment condition. So the agent does not know. Agent does not know about the environment. Agent will not know about the environment conditions. So in the sense, what states exist or what its actions do. Okay. So it is, the clear picture of the environment is not there. Okay. Under such cases, if you do, if you make use of the search, then we call it as online search. Okay. So normally we call it as, it's a state of ignorance. Hmm? So the agent faces an exploration problem, and he must use the, or agent must use its actions as steps, or as experiments rather. All the actions or steps which an agent takes, it is to learn enough and to make deliberations worthwhile. In the sense, whatever the actions it takes, it is just a trial and error. Okay, it is just trial and error. Whether the agent doesn't know whether he will get the required, I mean the goal will be reached or not, the agent will not know. Such search techniques are online searches. The best example for online search is, I can say that, consider newborn baby. Okay, this is the best example which I can give for online search agents. So the baby has many possible, baby can do many possible actions, but knows the outcome uh, of none of them, right? But gradual discovery of how the world works is an online search process. Okay, so this is the best example which we can give for this search technique. So next topic which I want to take is this. Okay, this is the next topic. This I'll be taking in next class only. Adversarial search. I'll just tell you it's a search where there is an uh, opponent. Okay, this search technique normally used where there is an opponent or enemy. Okay, changing the state of the problem at every step in a direction uh, which you don't know. Okay, so the best example which I can give is this chess. Okay, so normally in such games, okay, we can use of this search. So here you change state, but then you control the next state. Opponent will change the state in a way which is unpredictable. For such problems, we have to do some techniques, search techniques. It comes under these topics, okay? Adversarial search. So all these topics, under this we have two important algorithms. This I'll be discussing in my next class. So very interesting algorithms under adversarial search. Okay, how you can plan the game. I'll take some simple examples and explain how you can develop this searching here when you don't know what opponent is doing, what opponent is planning, because it's all unpredictable here, right? Okay. So before I close, just give me 1 minute. I'll take attendance again. Okay. Now, before I close, I would like to tell you a few things. See, we have completed this. Mm, I'll just write here for your reference. We have completed these searches, uninformed and informed search techniques, right? So some of you can just make a list of what all we have studied here. Okay, so all this, make a list what all we have studied under heuristic search. Okay, just if you're interested, you take up one problem. Any problem is fine. You take up one real-time problem. Okay, you are all now you don't have labs, right? You don't have to spend time for labs. So you just take up one real-time problem in your domain. Okay, maybe electrical, electronics, biomedical, instrumentation, whichever domain is yours. You take up one real-time problem. Okay, or you can refer some papers. Okay, then apply these algorithms. Especially you can make use of the heuristic search techniques, and you can just do the analysis by applying all these techniques. No, how you get the final result of the problem which you have taken. Okay, take up one real-time problem, make use of all these techniques, search techniques. So if you know the coding, you can use C or Python, whichever, it's fine. Okay, so just do the analysis and you can get some results. Okay, just try this, it will give you hands-on. Okay, you will get some practical experience also. Definitely this will help you to understand this subject. Okay, because next topic, that whatever I told, no, that adversarial search, it is a new topic. It is something it's the third topic which I am going to start. Okay, so before that, this is what I want to do. this is what I wanted to tell you people, so that you will get some better experience about this subject. If you are interested to write some review papers also, you can think, okay, in this direction by taking some real-time problems, how artificial intelligence algorithms help to analyze this, and it will, if you get some results, definitely you can write some papers. If you are going for higher studies, definitely you can publish some papers or conference. It will definitely help you in future. Okay, that's all about today's class. Those who have missed, definitely, because as I told, no, today's strength is only 28 students now. I think some of them joined late. I don't know the reason. So what you can do is you can just see the video lectures of my class, and okay, you can prepare. I think assignments, tests, and all, it will be announced soon. So better prepare, be ready for all those. Okay. So that's all. Anything from your end? Any doubts? Anybody? No? Okay, if that is the case, we will close this class. Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.